you a story that not a lot of people have heard. Names have not been changed to protect the innocent because I'm lazy. Also, fuck the innocent. Right? They've been riding on our coattails long enough. I'm done with that. Ugh. No, this whole thing has been hard for me because it's like talking about sex is like terrifying to me. Like I do stand-up, that's not scary, but like telling people I have a vagina or feelings, like nightmare fuel, right? I don't like that. I think it came from like middle school where I learned how to like repress every part of my personality so the bullies would have nothing to work with. Don't know you care, they can't hurt you. That's how it works. I thought I was a late bloomer until this mic. I lost my virginity at 19. I was a late bloomer. No. I'm like middle. It's good to know. Yeah, I don't know. It took a while because I was shy, still am, always will be probably. Like I was the kind of girl who would memorize my crush's like schedule in high school so I could avoid them. Like most girls try to run into them, like no. I had a crush on this kid Campbell McLaughlin for 3 years in high school. I could not tell you what he looked like. All I knew is he had German third period. I didn't go over there. Good arrangement. I had one boyfriend in high school. We only kissed. One time we made out and he touched my butt, but then he went home and wrote me a 5-page apology email about it. So that's how we made it to 19. That's how that happened. But like, truth be told, if you know me, it makes sense because my greatest sexual thrill is canceling on plans at the last second. Stop! It just feels so good. Yeah, no, I mean, I could have lost it earlier, probably, but, like, it didn't occur to me until 19. It really didn't. I mean, like, that's how much of a nerd I was. That was the first time that popped into my head. So, but, like, at 19, I feel like it's a problem. Like, people start to ask why you haven't. So, started to think about who I want to lose it to. Narrowed it down to people who are interested in me. Brought the number down quite a bit. Ended up picking my friend Alex, who's a high school friend, a year older than me. He was the town's resident sad kid. It's true. Like, he was definitely one of those kids who dropped out junior year but still went to school every day. He was always a little misguided. Like, he got a question mark tattoo on his forearm because he wanted a tattoo, but he didn't know what to get. Real. Real life. But it was funny to me because I was like, that's similar logic to how I decided to sleep with him. I feel like we probably had a lot in common. Looking back. So I decided to make my first move on Thanksgiving. You know, that time when all your family comes over? Great time to discreetly hook up with someone? Not actually. After dinner, I had a bunch of my friends come over, but we could only sleep in one bed. Of course, Alex is there. Everyone falls asleep except him because he's the guy. He's teetering on the edge of the bed. We made him sleep on the edge of the bed. That's how much respect we had for him. He was wearing a button-up shirt and pants because no one brought pajamas because no one knew they were sleeping over, and he was filled with Thanksgiving food. So, like, I've never seen someone look so uncomfortable in my life. And then I was like, this is it. I make my move. So like I lean in and with like all the grace of a car whose brake lines have been cut. And like luckily for me, he's into it because like I didn't have a plan B. I was in the middle of the bed. Like if things backfired, like where was I gonna go? So of course, awkwardly make out butt to butt with my friend in a house surrounded by my family. So romantic. So romantic, guys. The next day, when we're alone, he wants to talk to me because like we're friends and we made out, and he wants to know what the deal is. But like I literally don't know what to tell him because I've never made it that far in a casual relationship. I don't know what happens next. Well, luckily for me, at this very moment, my mom busts in. Yeah. She's like, "Hey, your little cousin has head lice. Everyone has to go." Consequently, if you ever want to break up a party real fast, that's the way to do it. Still use that. Yeah, so after after 3 rounds of like chemical shampoo, I was like ready to play the field. Just set. It's gonna be great. Alex wanted to go on a date with me, but I blew him off because I was like, no, I'm awakened now. Go back to college and like hook up with all these guys and lose my virginity. So go back to college and no one wants to sleep with me. I know this because I tried. I tried really hard. No one was interested in my wares. Probably because I was calling them wares. People are weird. So like defeated, I go back to Connecticut and I'm like, all right, it's on now. I text Alex. Invite him over to come see Zach and Miri make a porno at my house. My parents are home, so we go to my childhood bedroom with the door closed. Great. After the movie's done, I like promptly take off my clothes because it's time for sex. That's what you do. You sit on the bed and wait. That's how you do it. I mean, something that I feel like a lot of people should tell girls that they don't is that sex is not always great the first time. Like, movies would make you think it's like Transformers and everything fits into place and everyone knows what to do, but it's not like Transformers. Movies lie. For me, at least, it was more like when you go to the doctor to get a shot and they're like, oh, it's only going to hurt a bit. Then it happens and you punch your doctor in the face with a liar. Just me, I guess. No, it was just painful and awkward, and I was like determined to get it over with when there's a knock on the door. It's my dad. See, Alex had been a friend for many years and had come over the house like so many times without incident, and I hadn't told my parents I was hooking up with them, so my dad literally did not know what was happening on the other side of the door. He just knew it was late and he wanted Alex to go home. But his teenage daughter was like alone in a room with a boy and the door was closed, so I'm kind of like, he knew. He just didn't fucking care. He's just like, whatever, guys. And there's like this awkward moment of silence. I think I say something like, we have our clothes on, everything's fine. And then my dad's just like, I don't, whatever. I'm like, what? So obviously we call it a night at that point. Alex starts to go home, but before he does, he grabs my face. He looks me deep in the eye and he whispers, you have the silkiest pubic hair I've ever touched. Mom's house the next day when his mom is home, and we go to have sex in the basement. It's fine, we high five, everything's great, everything goes well, then my parents call again. But I don't want to go home this time, I want to like stay in this guy's like basement and have sex with him, so I lie to them. I'm like, I'm too drunk to drive home. And I thought this was a perfect plan, because like growing up they always told me, if you're too drunk to drive home, just like stay over wherever you are, you come the next day, it'll be fine. I forget that my dad's a recovered alcoholic. He's been sober for like 20 years. He freaks out when I tell him that. And he's like, I gotta come, I gotta get you. And it's like, at 19, this is Sophie's choice. Like, do I let my dad think I'm abusing alcohol? Or do I tell him that I fucked a guy with a question mark tattoo who is not the Riddler? Just a regular really tough decision. But eventually decided that sex is better than alcoholism. For me, maybe not for everybody else. Choice I've come to. So I tell him the truth. I tell him the entire story I just told you, minus the silky pubic hair part. And he's just like, yeah, whatever, be safe. And he hangs up the phone, and like that's the moral of the story. It's like, sex is fine. It's not a big deal. Don't need to freak out about it. Everything will be okay. Alex and I dated for like a year, terrible relationship. He broke up with me over the phone, but was too nervous to do it, so I had to talk him through it. Really, really went off the bucket list. And I used to think I was doing better than him, but I recently found out that he's like a part-time DJ, full-time waiter up in Maine. He's into polyamory and has 3 girlfriends. He wins, right? Like, with that tattoo and that personality to get that many girls into him, like, I'm the loser in this story.